let us embark on a journey through the labyrinth of the chaser's heart. For in this realm of soul connections and divine unions, we find not mere mortals playing out roles, but souls dancing in the eternal ballet of love and awakening. So, you have tasted the nectar of divine union. You've glimpsed the potential of a love so profound it threatens to shatter the very foundations of your reality. And now you find yourself chasing not just a person, but a promise whispered to you by the stars and echoing in the chambers of your heart. You may not fully comprehend the depths of your yearning, but you feel it, don't you? It's a force that propels you forward, even when logic and reason beg you to turn back. The chaser isn't merely a role or a label, no, but a state of being, a vibration that pulses with the rhythm of longing. It's a frequency that resonates with the very core of existence, singing out across the universe. I am here, I am awake, I am ready. But ready for what, you might ask? That's where the mystery lies, the delicious enigma that we shall unravel together. Picture a soul, eyes wide with the wonder of discovering their other half walking this earthly plane. This awakened being, the chaser, embraces the bond with a fervor that could ignite stars. They pursue, yes, but what are they truly chasing? Is it the physical form of their twin, or something far more profound? Now let's unravel the tapestry of these desires, shall we? What do the twin flame chasers really want? Let's dive deeper into this blazing inferno of the chaser's heart. Picture a soul suddenly set aflame by recognition, so profound it shakes the very foundations of their being. This is no gentle awakening from slumber. No, this is a cosmic alarm clock blaring at full volume, jolting the chaser into a reality they never knew existed. You see, the chaser twin flame often strides through life with an air of worldly success. They're the ones with the impressive careers, the wide circle of friends, the family that looks picture perfect from the outside. But beneath this veneer of achievement lies a slumbering giant of emotion, waiting to be roused. And when it awakens, the intensity that floods their system is akin to a supernova exploding in slow motion. Every color is brighter, every sensation more acute. It's as if they've been living life with the volume turned down, and suddenly someone's cranked it up to 11. This newfound intensity is intoxicating, isn't it? It's like tasting the most exquisite wine after a lifetime of water. How can they not want more? How can they not chase this feeling to the ends of the earth? The chaser becomes a being of pure passion, driven by a force they can barely comprehend. But here's the rub. This very intensity that propels them forward can also be their undoing. In their fervor, they may bulldoze over the delicate nuances of the connection. They might push too hard, too fast, overwhelming not just themselves, but their twin as well. Remember, the chaser is often the last to awaken in the twin flame dynamic. They're playing catch-up, trying to make sense of emotions that have been building up over lifetimes. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. Exhilarating, yes, but also potentially overwhelming. And what of their carefully constructed life? The friends, the family, the colleagues who've known them as steady, predictable, perhaps even a bit reserved. Suddenly, they're faced with a version of their friend or loved one that seems almost unrecognizable. The chaser, burning with this new inner fire, may find themselves at odds with the very support system they've relied on for so long. Yet, in this intensity lies a beautiful opportunity for growth. The chaser, if they can harness this energy, has the potential to transform not just their own life, but to inspire change in those around them. Their awakening, tumultuous as it may be, can serve as a beacon for others, showing what's possible when we open ourselves fully to the power of connection. So yes, the chaser burns hot and bright. They may feel overwhelmed, out of control, desperate to understand and be understood. But in this beautiful chaos lies the seed of profound transformation. The key is learning to dance with the flames, rather than being consumed by them. So, let's illuminate this shadowy corner of the chaser's experience. Imagine a solitary lighthouse perched on a craggy cliff, its beam cutting through the darkest night, always searching for a ship that may never come to shore. This is the chaser's heart, a beacon of unwavering hope in a sea of uncertainty. The loneliness of the awakened chaser is a peculiar beast, isn't it? It's not the simple solitude of being physically alone. No, this is a soul-deep ache, a feeling of being fundamentally disconnected from the world around them. They walk among friends, family, colleagues, yet feel as if they're moving through a dream, untouchable and unseen. Why? Because they've glimpsed something extraordinary, a connection so profound it defies earthly logic. They've tasted the nectar of divine union, even if only for a fleeting moment, and now everything else pales in comparison. It's like trying to satisfy your thirst with a drop of dew after you've swum in an ocean of bliss. The chaser becomes a keeper of sacred knowledge, holding tight to a truth that others can't see or understand. If only they knew, the chaser thinks, gazing at the sleeping faces of those around them. If only they could feel what I feel. But how do you explain colors to someone who's only ever seen in black and white? This isolation is amplified tenfold when the chaser discovers the concept of twin flames. Suddenly, there's a name for what they're experiencing, a framework that seems to explain the inexplicable pull they feel. But with this knowledge comes a new kind of torment, the belief that their twin, their divine counterpart, is simply asleep to the connection. Oh, the stories the chaser's mind weaves. They imagine their runner going about their day, blissfully unaware of the cosmic dance they're part of. If only they would wake up, the chaser muses, everything would fall into place. They picture a grand awakening, a moment of recognition that would bridge the chasm between them. But here's the twist. This belief, comforting as it may be, is often more fantasy than reality. The chaser, in their loneliness, creates a narrative where they are the awakened one, the keeper of the flame, waiting patiently for their slumbering twin to stir. It's a story that gives purpose to their pain, a reason for the separation that feels so unbearable. Yet, in clinging to this narrative, the chaser may blind themselves to deeper truths. They may miss the lessons hidden in the loneliness, the growth that can only come through facing oneself in the mirror of solitude. For in this aloneness, there's an invitation to dive deep into the self, to explore the caverns of the heart that have long been ignored. The chaser's loneliness is a crucible, a sacred space where transformation can occur. It's in these quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades away, that the chaser has the opportunity to truly hear the whispers of their own soul. What if, instead of focusing all their energy on the absent twin, they turn that loving attention inward? Remember that the truest union begins within. The loneliness you feel is not a punishment, but a call to come home to yourself. It's an opportunity to become the love you seek, to fill your own cup so full that it overflows, nourishing not just you, but all those around you. So yes, keep your light burning bright. Let your love beam out into the darkness, but don't forget to let that light shine inward too. For in illuminating your own depths, you may find that the connection you've been seeking has been within you all along, waiting patiently for you to notice. Well, let's unravel this tangled web of dreams and reality that ensnares the chaser's heart. Imagine a dreamer perched on the edge of a cliff, one foot in the clouds of possibility, the other teetering on the rocky ground of what is. This is the chaser's predicament, caught between the soaring heights of what could be and the sometimes harsh reality of what is. The chaser often finds themselves locked in a fierce battle with acceptance. It's as if they're standing before a door that refuses to open, no matter how fervently they knock, no matter how creatively they try to pick the lock. They become like a child, wide-eyed and hopeful, tugging at the sleeve of the universe, pleading, "Please just give me this one thing," might just wake them up to our connection. But oh, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, rarely operates on our timetables, does it? And so the chaser finds themselves in this exquisite agony of knowing or believing they know the truth of the connection, while their twin seems to slumber on, oblivious to the cosmic alarm clock blaring in the chaser's heart. At first, their attempts to awaken their twin are subtle, aren't they? A casual mention here, a pointed question there. They drop hints like breadcrumbs, hoping their twin will follow the trail back to them. If only they would see, the chaser thinks. If only they would appreciate the depth of my feelings, the sincerity of my intentions. It's a dance of hope and hesitation, each step forward followed by a quick retreat, always watching, always waiting for that spark of recognition in their twin's eyes. But as time passes and their twin remains asleep, the chaser's gentle nudges can turn into desperate shoves. The fear sets in, a cold dread that wraps around their heart in the dark hours of the night. What if their twin never wakes up? What if this connection, this love that feels bigger than the universe itself, is destined to remain unrequited? Nightmares plague their sleep, visions of a future without their twin, a life half-lived, potential unfulfilled. They see themselves growing old, always looking over their shoulder, always wondering, what if? It's enough to drive anyone to desperation, isn't it? The chaser becomes frantic, their actions fueled by a potent mixture of love and fear. In this frenzy, the chaser might make bold declarations, grand gestures, anything to shake their twin out of their perceived slumber. They might pour their heart out in long messages, create elaborate plans for a shared future, or even make drastic life changes in hopes of aligning more closely with their twin's path. But here's the rub. In this relentless pursuit of awakening their twin, the chaser often loses sight of their own journey. they become so focused on the sleeping beauty that they forget to tend to their own garden of self-growth and personal evolution. What if, just what if, this period of seeming separation isn't about waking up the twin at all? What if it's a divine invitation for the chaser to wake up to themselves, to dive deep into their own psyche, to confront their fears, heal their wounds, and become the fullest, most radiant version of themselves? Remember, beloved seeker, that the twin flame journey is not about achieving a perfect union with another. It's about achieving union within oneself. The runner isn't a prize to be won or a code to be cracked. They're a mirror, reflecting back to the chaser all the areas within themselves that need love, attention, and healing. Now, let's dive into the intoxicating depths of the chaser's addiction. Picture a soul caught in the throes of the most exquisite high, a love so potent, so all-consuming, that it makes the world spin on a different axis. This is the chaser's plight, a being drunk on the nectar of divine connection, forever chasing that next hit of twin flame bliss. Dawn breaks, and with it comes the first thought: them, always them. The chaser's mind fixates on their twin with an intensity that would make even the most devoted artist blush. It's as if their twin's essence has seeped into every crevice of their being, coloring their world in hues of longing and desire. This craving, this hunger that gnaws at the soul, is relentless. It demands to be fed, a voracious beast that grows stronger with each passing day. The chaser becomes like a junkie, their every action, every decision, filtered through the lens of how will this bring me closer to my twin. But the sweet agony of it all. For in this addiction lies a paradox. The very thing that makes them feel most alive is also the thing that's tearing them apart. They're caught in a dance of ecstasy and despair, soaring to dizzying heights one moment, only to crash into the depths of separation the next. The chaser's days become a blur of seeking. They scour social media for glimpses of their twin, analyze every interaction for hidden meanings, and find themselves drawn to places and activities that remind them of their other half. It's as if they're trying to piece together a puzzle of their twin's life, hoping that if they can just understand enough, they can somehow bridge the gap between them. But here's the rub. This addiction, this desperate need, it's not love. Not really. It's a wound crying out for healing, a child's pain masquerading as adult passion. The chaser, in their frantic pursuit of connection, often misses the deeper call, the invitation to turn inward and face the voids within themselves. You see, the intensity of the twin flame connection acts like a magnifying glass, bringing into sharp focus all the unhealed parts of the chaser's psyche. The longing they feel for their twin is often a reflection of the longing they have for wholeness within themselves. They seek in another what they have yet to cultivate within, but perhaps the most insidious aspect of this addiction is the way it can keep the chaser stuck in a state of emotional infancy. Like a child clinging to a security blanket, they hold on to the idea of their twin as the source of all comfort and completion. They resist growing, changing, or moving forward, fearing that any shift might take them further from the connection they crave. Yet, in this very resistance lies the key to their freedom. the chaser must learn to stand alone to find wholeness within themselves before they can truly unite with another. For how can two halves make a whole if each half is not complete in itself? Remember, dear one, that the twin flame journey is not about finding your other half. It's about becoming whole yourself. The addiction you feel to your twin is a call to dive deep into your own essence, to explore the caverns of your heart and mind that have long been neglected. So let us now peer into the deepest waters of the chaser's heart. At the core of the chaser's desire lies a profound yearning for validation. It's as if they're standing at the edge of their own existence, toes curled over the precipice, desperately seeking confirmation that they are indeed worthy of love. In the eyes of their twin, they hope to see their own worth reflected back at them, a cosmic affirmation of their right to be, to love, and to be loved. This search for validation is not a shallow need for compliments or fleeting attention. No, it runs far deeper. The chaser seeks a love that will fill the void within, a connection so profound that it will heal all wounds, soothe all fears, and make them feel whole. They chase not just a person, but the very essence of who they are, or who they believe they could be. In this pursuit, the chaser often projects their own unmet needs onto their twin. They see in their other half all the qualities they feel they lack: strength, confidence, love, acceptance. It's as if they're trying to complete a puzzle of their own identity, and they believe their twin holds the missing pieces. But oh, the beautiful irony of it all. For in seeking themselves in another, they often lose sight of the treasure that lies within. The chaser becomes so focused on the reflection in the mirror that they forget to turn around and see the vast landscape of their own soul. Some chasers throw themselves into self-improvement, not for their own growth, but in an attempt to become worthy of their twin's love. They might change their appearance, alter their lifestyle, or even shift their entire belief system, all in the hope of aligning more closely with what they perceive their twin desires. But here's the twist. This search for self in the reflection of another is both the challenge and the gift of the twin flame journey. For in this intense mirror of divine connection, the chaser is given the opportunity to see themselves clearly, perhaps for the first time. Every insecurity, every fear, every unhealed wound is brought to the surface, not to torment, but to be acknowledged, loved, and healed. The purest form of the twin flame connection is indeed a love so profound it defies logic and transcends the mundane. It's not a choice, not a game, but a gravitational pull at the level of the soul. The chaser pursues because to do otherwise would be to deny their very nature. But in this pursuit, they are called to the greatest journey of all, the journey back to themselves. And so, beloved seeker, we come to the end of our exploration, but not the end of the journey. For in the grand tapestry of twin flame connections, every thread is essential, every color vital to the whole. The chaser and the runner, they are but two sides of the same coin, each playing their part in this cosmic drama of awakening. Remember this as you navigate the turbulent waters of twin flame love. True union begins within. Love in its highest form is not a cure-all for your wounds or a filler for the voids in your heart. It is a mirror, reflecting back to you all that you are, all that you can be. So chase if you must, but chase with awareness. Pursue not the phantom of another, but the truth of your own divine nature. For when you find yourself truly and completely, you'll discover that what you've been chasing has been within you all along.